Well, all the ballots have been turned in, and now it's time for the tabulation. We're getting updated results for the 2024 Idaho primary election as we speak, and there is a lot to keep track of. On the ballot this year, both of Idaho's U.S. House of Representatives, or House Representatives, I should say, the entire Idaho legislature, county offices, and dozens of funding proposals out there. You can see some of those races. They will be listed on the bottom of your screen as we get through the newscast. But before we get into specifics on the races we're watching, let's check in with News Channel 7's Abby Davis, who is live at the Ada County Elections Office. How are things going down there tonight, Abby?
Brian, it is busy. You can just see the hustle and bustle behind me as all of the election workers, well, they have their specific jobs, their assignments. They are very busy. Right now, all of the ballots are coming in from the various precincts. They're getting dropped off. They're being sorted and counted. I want to bring in Ada County Clerk Trent Triple. Trent, let's talk numbers really fast. 41,000 people have voted in this election today in Ada County. That's about 22% of voter turnout. How are you guys feeling about those numbers? Are they lower, higher than usual?
They are trending lower than previous elections of like manner. 2 years ago, we had about a 30% turnout, so they are slightly lower across the board in absentee early voting and election day.
Why is that?
It's hard to tell. Obviously, when you look at the ballots, there's many different ballot styles, but many of them had uncompetitive races on them. But there are some hot spots in the county. Out in Starr, there was some bond and levies on the ballot, as well as some hotly contested races where we had some higher than normal turnout in some of those areas like LD10.
Before this interview, we were chatting a little bit about how things have gone. You say things have gone pretty smoothly, aside from a couple of hiccups. If you could explain those, that would be great.
Yeah, you bet. Every election we have a few things that just don't go as planned. This one, it's like manner. There are some precincts where some processes were out of the normal. But we're not concerned about that. Again, with the paper ballot, we are able to scan some of those ballots back here at the central location here and not worry about what happened at the precinct. So we're not worried. It happens every election. But overall, it was a very smooth election for us.
Of course, want to touch on election transparency and integrity, a big hot button topic over the last couple of years. At Ada County, you guys are really kind of on the cutting edge, coming up with some new technology. One is a ballot verifier tool. So after the elections, it's not out yet, but very soon people after elections can go online. They can check out all of the ballots for themselves, see how people checked their boxes. Why is that so important to you guys?
Well, obviously, over the last several years, the narrative around elections has been questioning the integrity of the process. We felt it was necessary to put all of that information out there so citizens can verify for themselves that the ballots that are being cast are being counted properly. And so this is just our way of becoming as transparent as humanly possible for everyone to be able to look at those ballots themselves.
Thanks so much for your time, Trent. We really appreciate it. This was Ada County. I want to briefly touch about Canyon County numbers. If we can show the viewers at home at the tabulation room. This is from the live stream over in Canyon County. You can see what's going on. You can watch for yourself online. The spokesperson told me they have about 26,000 people that have voted, 23% voter turnout. That's pretty typical for what they see over there. And Brian, the night is still young for all of these workers. I'm told that both in Ada and Canyon counties, they'll be here until about midnight wrapping things up.
Yeah, that turnout trend for Ada County right now is trending a little low, and statewide over the last couple of years has been about 25, 26, even 32%. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get through the evening as well. Thank you very much, Abby. This primary election is going to do a lot to determine the direction of the Republican Party. Key races could change the makeup of the State House, and even those races at the bottom of the ballot have gotten a lot of attention lately. Andrew Bartline is at the GOP Watch Party in Garden City, the supermajority in the state of Idaho, the Republican Party, where every State House seat is up for grabs. Andrew?
Yeah, and it's sort of an interesting vibe, as you can imagine, people running against each other that they're in this same room as. Now we're here with Speaker Mike Moyle right now, who's in a very interesting race. A lot of out-of-state money coming in against you, but your numbers are looking good right now.
Yeah, we're feeling good about it. The numbers are looking good, but the amount of money spent in this primary is crazy. All this out-of-state money should concern everybody in Idaho. We need to figure out a way to at least make it more transparent so we know where it's coming from and who's spending it, because this is not a good thing.
And you seem to be a primary target of a lot of this, but on the other side of the rotunda, it's Senate Pro Tem Chuck Winder his numbers not trending as favorably as yours right now.
Yeah, we've been blessed. His are a little behind, and we're early. It's early in the night. We'll see how things trend, but it was the same issue there. The out-of-state money and the lies and misinformation by these guys needs to stop.
Now, your position isn't exactly with the private GOP party. You're an elected official, but the party has seen some splitting, some disagreements in it, and these precinct committeeman positions getting a lot of attention on maybe redirecting what some Republicans would like to see in the party.
Well, and you know, the party is always shifting, right? And that's a good thing. And having the vote and the republic that we live in is a good thing to have the vote. But we need to be careful when we do it that we don't get so negative like you saw this last time, where we start eating our own. That worries me. We can have our disagreements and let's have our votes, but let's after that work together and move forward. We don't need to destroy ourselves.
Yeah, going forward, the party, the state house, you're a leader. If you go back, what is your agenda?
Well, if you've watched me as speaker, I've tried to unite both sides of the party, you know, because you got both factions. There's several factions, there's more than two. I try to unite them. Everybody should have a voice, and we should work together to solve solutions. If I go back, I'll continue to do that. I'll try to unite everybody, and I hope the party does the same. When these races are over, we need to all go out, shake hands, and do what's best for the state of Idaho.
Excellent. Last piece before I let you go. Not every election turns out the way you might want on a personal basis. The day after, how does that party unify move forward?
You got to put those feelings behind and look at the bigger cause, right? We're all here to do what's best for the state of Idaho and the citizens here, and you got to put that away and do what's right. And it's hard, it really is. But the people that are here that are running, they can do it.
Appreciate your time, Speaker Moyle.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you. Enjoy the night. Get back to Star safely. We'll throw it back to you at the station, Brian, where I know there's a lot of races we're keeping a close eye on.
A couple there. It is interesting that the leaders in both chambers at the State House are facing challenges tonight. So for those results, some of those races, as we mentioned, Chuck Winder and Mike Moyle, as you just heard. Let's check in with Joe Paris. He's over at the touchscreen tonight to kind of get us updated on what races we're watching tonight and some interesting ones.
Yeah, it is. Andrew and Speaker Moyle just talked about millions and millions of dollars are coming into the state of Idaho for major races and specifically leadership positions. The House Speaker, Mike Moyle, the Senate Pro Tem, Chuck Winder. Let's take a look, though, at Speaker Moyle's race, who we just heard from. As you can see here, early returns. Again, this is only a handful of the reports coming in. The early report does have Mike Moyle leading his challenger, Rachel Haslip. And this is a very big campaign in the sense that millions and millions of dollars have come into Idaho to make an institutional change. Let's also take a look across the rotunda. The leader in the Idaho Senate, the Senate Pro Tem, currently it's Chuck Winder, but he does find himself behind to his challenger, Josh Kaiser. This is a very tense race coming out of Meridian, a lot on the line. Winder has been the Senate Pro Tem, the leader of the Senate for several years. So if he or Mr. Moyle were to lose, it would be a major shift at the State House. Also, in terms of the shift, all of the State House positions are open. So when we come back in January, there's a very good chance that we have a much different looking legislature. As we come now to ktvb.com, this is a great resource. If we want to take this full screen, we can show you this right here. Here on our list, we are watching closely Chuck Winder and Josh Kaiser. Right there, you can see very close, and then right above, Mike Moyle and his challenger. So you can go to the front page at ktvb.com. We have those for you, as well as other races here in the hot section. I do want to take a look, though, over at the Secretary of State's website. Our friends there have developed an unbelievably helpful tool. Let's take a look quickly here at the race between Kaiser and Winder. Again, you'll see there's a pretty small margin in between them, but from the west side, you can see that Josh Kaiser is doing a lot of his votes here on the west side. As you go to the east, though, that's more Chuck Winder territory. So it'll be interesting to see how that finishes up. A few other places we're taking a look at. Again, Mike Moyle, we were just talking about that, the split in between all of that. The north side seems to be really favoring Mike Moyle. And just as we wrap up, and I send it back to Brian here, we're also watching Wendy Horman's race here tonight. Brian, she is the co-chair of JFAC, Idaho's budgeting committee. A lot of power there. Her co-chair, Scott Groh, does not have a challenger tonight. So when you take a look at the big positions that are up for grabs, House Speaker, that position would have to be refilled if Moyle lost.
Right.
Senate Pro Tem would have to be refilled by a new leader if Winder went down. And then the JFAC, Idaho's very powerful committee, it would be interesting to have a change there as well.
And we're also looking at those statewide races. Mike Simpson right now currently leading in his race. That's part of the state in District 2 there for U.S. Congress. All right, thank you very much, Joe. We'll keep tabs as what is happening across the bottom of your screen. We're going to have the results from the election as they come in. It'll be at our website, as you heard Joe mention, ktvb.com. You can also follow us on social media and on the KTVB app.